Cody J. Brune here with smalltownpreps.com, and I'm with Coach Mike Bonewald. Great game the other night, Coach. It was a great win against Sealy. We haven't beat Sealy in 9 years, I think, since 2007, so it was a come-from-behind win, second half, and we beat them at home for your first win. I mean, how did that feel for your first win at Columbus?
It really was great on how the whole game unfolded, being behind at halftime 17-3, being behind 24-9 in the fourth quarter to start the fourth quarter. But the kids never gave up, the coaches never gave up, and really just kept working. No matter what the scoreboard says, that's what we always tell the kids. It doesn't matter what the scoreboard says, we're going to play hard. And the kids battled back and came out with the win.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, as a fan and someone covering it on the sideline, I mean, it was great. I haven't seen Columbus Cardinal football like that in a long time. Now, the first game of the year, a little slow. I mean, kids had a new offense, new coaches, a little bit of new everything. So, kind of expected some of those kind of things. Then, the beginning of the first half of the Sealy game, a little better. We had some offense, a little bit of movement, stuff like that. And then for me, I don't know if it's just from my point of view on the sidelines or you noticed it too, but it seems like when Ja'Kai Shorter went down, the team just rallied around, and it was just a whole different game from there to me.
That's one thing we talked about at halftime before we went out. The kids were really hurting for Ja'Kai. They knew that the injury was pretty serious, and they were all pretty down about it. But we had Levi was in there, and Levi had gone down in the Bay City game, and so before we went out, I asked Levi. I said, when you left the game against Bay City, what did you want the guys to do? I want the guys to go win. I said, next thing I asked him was, did you want the guys to worry about you instead of the game? God, no, Coach, I don't want them to worry about me. And so all the guys, I said, Kyle wants the same thing. He wants you to go out there and play and go out there and get the win. And so the guys were pretty pumped up about it, and they went out and played a hard second half.
All right, like we talked about earlier, a new offense this year. So first game, a little more of a spread offense, you'd say. First game, tried it out. It didn't move a lot. First half of the Sealy game, it was a little better, but it seems like, to me, great coaching, because in the second half, everything totally changed up. It was not that anymore. I don't think I've ever seen a team score that many points on the same play.
We actually did run one play 31 times throughout the game, and that was probably a first for me too. But really, I've been running this offense for 10 years, and we're not giving up on the spread. Our spread game greatly improved in the 2 weeks from game 1 to game 2 during the off week. But I've always used the stacked eye as a short yardage package. And there's been some years where I've used it more than others. And, and it is something the kids, it's familiar to them. And so it really wasn't a big issue adding it in this past week. The kids did a great job of it. And the other thing is, looking game plan wise, I got to see Sealy play the week before against St. Pius. I got to see him in person. And the things that I noticed was they had quite a few guys going both ways. And the size. I felt like we were bigger, and I felt like we could wear them down. And so that was the other thing too. First half, we got 3 points, but really it set us up for the second half. And so we just had to stay patient and keep pounding, and eventually we wore them down, and the holes that were this big in the first half started getting this big in the second half, mainly because of the wear and tear from the first half.
I got you. The offense, not a lot of passing, but like we said earlier, a lot of running. And you had over 400 yards of rushing yards?
We had 407 yards rushing.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
We had 2 guys over 100 yards. We had Trayshawn Perrineau with 145 yards, and Logan Bubak had 111 yards, and Keandre Hurd had just over 80 yards rushing, and of course Troy Fluhop at quarterback had 50 yards rushing.
To me, even though you were running the same play like you said 31 times, when Perrineau runs it and Hurd runs it, it's a lot different than when Bubak runs it.
Right.
Perrineau and Hurd, quick, back and forth, can stretch the field. Bubak's, he's going to pound the rock. He's going to get in there, and it's a whole different. So even though it's the same play, it's
Well,
totally different.
And that's the great thing about it too. We're rotating 3 guys at that position, so they were staying fresh, and really, the offensive line, tight ends, the blocking backs did an amazing job. Julian Carter at one of the tight ends going full time on defense. Went the whole time at the tight end spot too. And then when Jakai went down, we had to have a guy step in. Alex Juarez and Anthony Temez stepped in and did a great job filling in his spot after halftime. And then the offensive line with from Sanchez, Hancock, Simmons to Brode to Courtney, did a great job. And then our blocking backs, we were rotating Dane Ball and Nick Fritznick at one position, and then Noah Neindorf, boy, he's our bullback, and he got after it all night long, and he did not come out. So and then Troy, whenever we're running that one play, he's a lead blocker too.
He's a big boy.
And he did a great job. So all the guys bought into what we're doing. They never gave up, and they just did a great job.
It's just, a total team effort. You can see it. From everywhere, sideline, stands. It doesn't matter where. You can see it. I honestly, I'm not just saying that because I'm interviewing you now, and I cover all the Columbus sports I can, but I can tell on the sidelines, and even when I meet some of the kids, in public, that they really have a belief in like what you do and what you're bringing to the table. Because before, a lot of times you get down 17-3 at halftime, right?
Yeah.
17-3 at halftime. It's not a district game. Let's just get ready for next week, et cetera, et cetera. And those guys didn't do that. They came out and they were pumped. I never saw one time on the sidelines where I saw any of the players look like they were down. They were pumping the crowd up. They were getting everyone involved, even when they're down. And then that's when the momentum started coming.
Yeah. It was really a great atmosphere all around. And we're going out there. It doesn't matter, non-district, district, or whatever. It's a game. We're ready to play, and we're ready to play to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Also notice no big turnovers when anything mattered. Seemed like whenever the offense had to do something, they did it.
Yeah. And we did lose a turnover battle. We had 2 turnovers in the first half. One was on a freak deal. We ran quarterback sneak, and one of their safeties came in and put his helmet right on the football, and it popped out. Another one was off of a tipped ball on an interception. So it wasn't bad decisions or anything like that. It was just kind of freak things that happened. But to not get a turnover from them and to have 2 of our own and to still come out with the win is pretty tough. But it's something to be proud of on the fact that we did overcome that.
All right. One thing I did notice, which you tell me what you think. Fourth quarter, Sealy is down on their side of the field. It's a 4th down. They have a great field goal kicker. If they don't have that great field goal kicker, do they try to go for it and the game's different?
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, the 3 points that they got off of that was very important at that time too. So, it could have been, they could have gone for it and we could have stopped them, but they do have a very good kicker, and I think it was a 46-yarder that he made. But, that's part of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so great win this week. Next week, we're going to be going to Hallettsville. Hallettsville's where you grew up and you played a majority of all your sports. Does this win help with the momentum going into next week? Knowing all, not any added pressure, but
yeah.
I know you have family, friends.
No, I tell you what, of course, we want to build off of this momentum. We've really enjoyed the win Friday night and this weekend, but at this point, we're moving forward and we're getting ready for the state-ranked Brahmas. Right now, they're ranked 5th in the state in 3A Division I. And then on top of that, we've got the number 4 ranked team in 4A Division II in Cuero next week. So, these next 2 weeks are against 2 very, very good opponents, and 2 opponents that have personal are personally big for me. Going back home where I was born and raised, and then of course where I graduated from with Cuero. So it's going to be fun for me, but at the same time, Columbus is going to be ready to play, and we're going to go give them everything we got.
Well, it don't happen a lot where you get to coach against your old high school teams. Does that change your game plan any? Do you know more? Do you know less? Do you not care?
No, at this point, we give what we get off of film. And as far as, I mean, it's been, since I lived in Houseville, it's been about 22 years.
It's a big difference. It's a lot different now than it was
Big
then.
difference, but no, but still going back to my hometown is pretty special.
I got you. All right. Well, good luck next week. This week was great, wonderful. One of the best games I've seen as a, at a Columbus Cardinal field in a long, long time. So congratulations and good luck next week.
Thank you.
All right. For more stats, for sports stats, scores, videos, anything else you want to see for Columbus Cardinal athletics, go to www.smalltownpreps.com. So until next time, go Cardinals.